What's up? What's up? We're back with another edition of the Leo G Show. I am Leo G, man, and podcasting is what I do, man. We got a lot to jump into tonight, man, and we just gonna make it do what it do, man. I'm so happy and I'm so excited about this podcast tonight, man, because I think we're gonna bring it tonight. We're gonna talk about something that I rarely talk about, and we're gonna dedicate the whole episode basically to this particular topic. So I'm gonna introduce everybody. I'm gonna go around the table here, man. It's kind of like I said. I always say it's a recurring theme, man. I got. First and foremost, I'm gonna bring in the man who he needs no introduction. Y'all already know who it is, man. The man who helps me carry this show, man. And he's on here, man. He brings it all the time, man. My man, Mr. Banks over there. What's going on, man?
What's up, Leo G? How you feeling, brother?
Man, I'm here, man. I'm good, man. We looking for Derico, man. I don't know where he is, man. I don't know, but
MIA.
MIA, man. I don't know what's going on with him, but hopefully he'll get back to join us for an episode of the show, man. And we got somebody else on the show tonight, man. Banks. I don't know who this guy is. But apparently this guy is somebody that's pretty relevant to the show. And surprisingly, he's here tonight. It's unbelievable. He graced us with his presence. I can't believe this, man. The man is back. The legend, the man, the myth, the legend is back. I got Adjective J is back with us for the Leo G Show, the actual 40th edition of the Leo G Show podcast. The man is back. The Adjective J. What is going
on? What's up, man? I just remember last time I was gone for like a long hiatus and I came back. I was like money, weed, and bitches. Baby, I'm back, and then I was gonna bring that same energy, but I don't know. The world's upside down, man. My team is about maybe to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I just don't know how to live my life right now. I'm trying to deal with the power also of having like predicted. So like I knew I want you to go back and listen to episodes, because at the start of the season I was like, oh, the Hawks are going to be a 5 seeds, and like that power of knowing that I was able to predict that is wild now. Like, I mean, I'm a prophet, and who knew? Yeah, I'm good. What's up?
Who knew Jay was an actual prophet? Man, what's going on, Jay, man? We're going to talk about it here in just a moment, man. Yeah, we're going to definitely dive into NBA basketball, man. Something that I kind of shy away from, man. But tonight on this podcast, man, we're going to talk quite a bit about NBA basketball, specifically our Atlanta Hawks and what's going on with the NBA playoffs, man. So Jay, man, I know you've been gone for a while. There's been a lot of stuff going on. So one of the things that we actually do here now with the podcast, man, with some of the hosts, Banks has been a reoccurring co-host here, man. He's vested now with me here on the Leo G Show. Him and Derico. Shout out to Derico, man. We'll get him back on the show as well, man. He's taking another break as well. But a reoccurring theme here, man, is we do apparel and we rock gear, specifically Atlanta gear. Since we got the YouTube channel up, Jay, this is the first time I think you'll actually be featured on the YouTube show tonight, since we got the YouTube channel up. So that's what's up, man. We get you on that. But we want to talk about what we got on a little bit, man. I'm going to kick it over to Banks first, because Banks is representing hard. Since this is going to be the NBA edition, Banks, tell the people what you got on tonight.
Well, I'm going to rock it back once again with the Atlanta Hawks Trae Young jersey. Nothing special, just keeping it simple.
Okay, that's what's up. We could do that. Jay got to take himself off mute to get engaged with us.
Oh no, that's tasteful, classic. I love it. Perfect.
Hey man, I'm just, to be honest with you, man, I'm kind of jealous because Banks. We'll talk about this here in just a moment, man. Banks got the jersey, man. Like, yeah, it's a reoccurring thing with me in the Hawks and their merchandising, man. It sucks, guys, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. So tonight, man, I'm gonna just talk about. Well, Jay, did you want to talk about what you got on?
No, I was just gonna say I've been trying to get a John Collins jersey since he got drafted, and I still don't have one. So,
yeah, so you feel my pain. You're literally in the same boat as I am, man.
I mean, holla at me, Hawks.
Yeah, I don't understand how you guys are having trouble finding Hawks gear. Just go to the Hawks store.
Where's the Hawks store, Banks? Can you tell me?
Online. Hey, go to Hawks.com, click where it says shop, and click a jersey.
Oh, really? And they got like a gang of them, right? They got like every color.
They have a gang of them. Leo, they have a red one. They have a white one. They have a black one.
Okay.
They have a Pink Street from last year.
I'm glad you talking about that specifically since we want to talk about jerseys and we want to talk about everything that's going on. Jay, you can take yourself off mute. Go ahead. What you got?
I'm just saying. Okay. Here's the thing. I did that, so like I feel like a lot of people did that. I have never been able to find a time when the Hawks jerseys weren't sold out. Literally sold out of everything but U sizes. It's amazing to me that you're describing steps that I have taken at least in triple digit times. Like I have been on, like I have a bookmark of the Hawks store on my laptop right now because I want to try to get a jersey.
You're not the only one.
I still don't have a jersey.
You're not the only one, Jay. We're gonna get into it, man. We're gonna get into the meat of this tonight, man, for real, once we get started. But no, so straight up, off the rip, man, I got something on that's pretty special. I got something on that's pretty cool. I had the privilege to go tonight to a lunch for Atlanta United, the third kit lunch for our soccer team here, man. It is, world class, man. Shout out to Atlanta United. And I would be remiss if I didn't shout out Footy Mob Banks. You know what I'm saying? We got to shout out Footy Mob, man, our SG, our illustrious SG, and what they're doing over there, man. Footy Mob, man, shout out to them. Tonight went to a third kit release party for Atlanta United, and I was actually, so unlike the other team we talked about in this city, I went to the third kit release party tonight. It was down at the Civil Rights Museum right here in Atlanta, Georgia. They unveiled it. And as you can see, as I released this podcast, the same night that I just went to the kit reveal party, I have the actual kit on. The kit, my not a youth, not a too small kit. It fits me right on site. All the kits on deck. Shout out to Atlanta United for providing all the kits on deck tonight at the kit reveal party. And guess what, fellas? Guess what Atlanta United did? Here's another thing that Atlanta United did that was pretty special. Atlanta United actually customized the kits on site. On site, is that what? Banks, I know your eyes just lit up, yeah. But Word? Atlanta United customized the kits on site. So I bought the kit and they customized the kit. That's a foreign concept, right? How can somebody actually release a kit or release a jersey, actually have it the same day that they release it, and then customize it for the fans right there? Man, I wish another team in this city could do the same thing. Banks, is that that's kind of crazy, right? Banks, that concept is kind of crazy, right?
Hey, man, I'm just saying, I'm eating it all up, man. Listen, I don't know what's going on about Atlanta Hawks and the merchandise and the marketing. I don't get it. Atlanta United seems to have it all figured out. They come out with a new kit and it's available to any and everyone, even your dog if you want one. So it's to the point where it's like, where's the Hawks? When are they going to pick it up? Listen, we talked about this time and time again that you can go to Walmart tonight and buy you a Braves shirt, a hat, buy you a Falcons hat, buy your Georgia Bulldogs hat,
even United, even United
hat, and a United jersey or a T-shirt. But Hawks, you be lucky to get a squeeze water bottom.
So look, before we start talking about the Hawks, I want to talk a little bit about this kit, man. And I mean, my poor Mac camera probably doesn't do this kit any justice. So, man, if you guys are listening to the podcast, by the time we drop this podcast, guys, everybody will have seen this new kit, man. The MLS doesn't let a lot of teams release a third kit, but because of Atlanta United sales and what we do here in Atlanta, the fan base, man, they decided to let Atlanta drop a third kit, man, and they're gonna actually wear this on the game here coming up on the 20th. It's gonna actually be the June 19th game. June 19th is coming up on Saturday, but on the 20th we actually play the Philadelphia Union, so they're gonna drop the Unity kit on that Sunday, and it's beautiful. So I went to the reveal tonight, and it was special. Banks, go ahead.
I didn't want to cut you off, Leo. I'm just checking it out, man. As we speak, I'm looking at your kit, man. Is that something like says trust in between, like something in the background of the shirt? Am I saying that correctly?
So Banks, I was going to basically describe the kit. So yeah, man, this kit has a lot of different words that to describe unity. I'm sorry, and what it's worth. And I was just going to read a little bit about the background of the kid. So it said, before our club had a name, we stood together. Unity binds us, drives us, and is the heart of who we are. So we protect it, we fight for it as players, as a club, and as a city. The Unity Kit is a tribute to our supporters and the city we love. Our third kit focuses on the legacy of unity, core to both Atlanta's history and our club's foundation. This kit isn't just for us, it's for all of us. And a portion of the proceeds of this kit is going to go right directly back into the city. Like I said, they did the kit reveal tonight at the Civil Rights Museum right in the heart of the city. And yes, Banks, these are several words in different languages actually on the kit. Like I said, my camera doesn't do it any justice, but you can kind of see some of the words that stand for unity in many different languages. This kid, it means so much, man. And to have a sports team in this city that actually just dedicated a whole kit to the legacy of this city and what it means, man. I mean, Atlanta gets a bad rap a lot of times in a lot of different ways, especially here. And Banks, you and I always talk about old Atlanta, and we talk about how we grew up in this city and what we learned growing up in this city. One of the biggest things about Atlanta is this was the birthplace of the civil rights movement in this country, right? Dr. Martin Luther King was born right here in Atlanta, Georgia, and this is the birthplace of the civil rights movement, man, as we fought for equality here in this country for a lot of people. And for Atlanta United to drop a kit and the significance of it, man, and just what it stands for and what it really makes me proud, man. It really makes me so proud. And when I saw, we talked about this Banks a little bit before they actually dropped it as to how we were going to feel about it, where we're going to actually purchase it. But once I read and once I understood exactly what they were doing, man, I had no choice but to pony up, man, and get the kit. And actually, Banks, you ponied up and got the kit as well. And it's going to be coming to you here momentarily. So, Jay, as you hear me talk about this kit, man, and talk about, of course, the legacy of Atlanta and the culture of this city. How do you feel about Atlanta United and what they did, in dropping the kit, a unity kit, man, and the significance behind it, man? How do you feel about it, man?
I think the kid is dope. I feel like that truly one of the best parts about most of the sports teams that are in Atlanta so far, it looks like that they're building upon what Atlanta already has as far as the history and significance of the city. And I think that's great. I will say this. I do love the tie-in of Unity since they're Atlanta United. I like that as a tie-in. I think it also kind of reminds me of a lot, for whatever reason, it reminds me of like in English Premier Leagues, how they really dive into the city that they're based in and that they're part of, and they really dive into the history of that city. I think that's something that's in that same kind of almost like community building of football in Europe, but also is kind of being traveled over here with the MLS. So yeah, I think it's dope.
Absolutely. Like I said, one of the, I think it's maybe a couple of other teams that have had third kits that have been able to be launched. I want to say Seattle is one of those. I have to do some research. I didn't really do a lot of research into how many MLS teams have third kits, man. But like I said, it's kind of shout out to Atlanta United. They just continue to impress, man. I mean, I know this is the youngest professional franchise in this city, man, but they have quickly won over me. And I go very, very hard for Atlanta United. Banks, man, how does this make you feel, man? How does this kit make you feel? And tell everybody how this team constantly makes you feel, man, and what they do, not only on the pitch, but in the community, man.
Well, it's for the kit, I feel like it's a dope kit, and I'm looking at it as we speak. And I guess, like you said, the cameras doesn't doing the justice. I would like to see it, up close and personal. But how it makes me feel, man, I feel like, man, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I feel like we probably the best team in the league because we constantly keep doing, pulling all the stops, making this fan base relevant, making everyone basically in MLS be like, hey, look at us. Look what we're doing, and then it's a big, just proud moment for a lot of people in this city. Now, as the team itself, I mean, they are who they are with me. I've always, each year that passed by, I mean, I'm a huge soccer fan as the day goes by. I'm still learning. I'm not going to lie to you. But as for Atlanta United, as the local team, man, we got our star above our crest. I'm happy. I'm beyond happy.
You see it. Yeah, absolutely, man. Shout out. I can't speak enough, man. They do what they need to do, man, in this city, man. They brought together a lot of different people. They have literally their namesake, man, united. They have united this city, man, whether it's, black, white, Indian, Hispanic, Latino, whatever, man. They've really brought a lot of different cultures together up under the umbrella for soccer, man. And another thing we always talk about too is Banks, man, from a standpoint of natives of this city and transplants of this city alike. They were able to bring everybody under that umbrella. A lot of people that came to Atlanta from other cities that had rich sports histories, they were able to jump in and come up under Atlanta United for up under this umbrella. But we're gonna kind of move on here. Hopefully, my feed here can allow me to continue to go on here. I'm hoping we can get this all recorded as we go. So look, man, we're gonna just go ahead and dive into it. This podcast I wanted to talk about is basically the NBA. And is everybody still with me? Can everybody kind of get everybody with me here? Okay, cool. So we're gonna talk about the NBA a little bit here, man. We're gonna talk about the NBA playoffs. We're gonna talk about the Atlanta Hawks. We're gonna talk about everything NBA this podcast. And when I told Jay that we were gonna do this, he was immediately like, "Oh yeah, I'm about it. I'm for this. I'm with this. This is what I'm here for." So we're gonna get into the NBA portion of it tonight. So guys, before we do that, we're gonna talk about our team. We're all fans of the Atlanta Hawks. We're gonna talk about the Atlanta Hawks for just a moment here. Off the court stuff. We kind of led into it just a little bit, man. We're going to talk about the off the court stuff here for just a second. Banks, we just talked about the merchandising aspect and what the Hawks are doing. This team is a young team, man. We're in the playoffs now. We're about to talk about it here in just a moment. What needs to happen with the Hawks and making this team more marketable, man, and pushing this? Because like you just said, like you just alluded to, Banks, in our own city, we can't even find merch. Jay is online in the Great Northwest up there. Every day he's going on hawkshop.com trying to see if they're going to restock the jersey in this size. And he can't find, over 2 years now, he's been looking for a John Collins jersey, and it hadn't happened. Banks, what needs to happen with him, with the Hawks, man?
I feel like the Hawks need a marketable player. And I mean, I know this sounds kind of redundant since we've seen what Trae Young is doing. But in that sense, if you really think about it, Trae Young just became relevant, if you will, in the league's eyes. Okay, we talking about a guy who was left off the All-Star roster that was in his own city. Okay, so obviously they didn't see him as an All-Star. So I think what is going on with the Atlanta Hawks is that the fact that they don't have anyone, they claim that we don't have anyone that's worth watching. A
marquee player, a marquee player.
You talk about Luka
Doncic, a superstar
versus Trae Young, and everyone's still on that Luka Doncic train. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, but I'm looking at both of them. I think both cities got the right person in my eyes. So until Trae Young really completely blossom into that superstar, that's when you're gonna see, Hawks gear. I mean, all over the city. I mean, I hate to say it like that because it's kind of true. You got a city full of transient people that lives here.
Jay,
I mean,
Jay, I'm gonna kick it over to you, man. Go ahead and tell me why you think that right now this organization, man, is just not. I mean, like, I want to know. I'm here in this city. You're a fan. There are Hawks fans everywhere, man. Is it me, or is it why can't they get this rolling? What's going on?
I think you and I have talked about this before. They kind of have dropped the ball in general on merchandising repeatedly. So it's we talked about this during MLK Day when I'm sitting around watching the game live, and they're like, "Oh, go to the Hawk shop right now to get your MLK jerseys," and they're legit sold out, just sold out. So like, I feel like they just have not. I feel like they are in a deficit right now, and they just do not know how to merchandise properly. And whoever I assume got fired for their lack of ability to merchandise, or who has yet to be fired for it. I think that they're still trying to catch up, and it's kind of sad because to your point, they have a really, really good team that is starting to get more exposure. And the more that team is exposed to other people who watch the game of basketball and they grow fans, they're going to have more people who are going to have their first experience as a fan, as a Hawk, being like, I can't get a jersey, especially if we're talking about them getting national exposure, where now you're going to have Trae Young fans who are by extension are going to somewhat be Hawks fans as long as he's a Hawk, who aren't going to be able to even get like a jersey for their favorite player because the Hawks just can't get it together.
Suck.
Yeah, they just can't get it together.
Up?
I was just about to say that, pretty much that it's not just local. You know what I'm saying? You got kids all over the country that's liking Trae Young. I mean, I didn't realize how much Trae Young is basically a common name now in the NBA. You got guys tweeting saying that I flew into Atlanta with my kid and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're here with Trae Young." I mean, it's like that's what's going on now. Trae Young is making a face for this city, and that's huge. Now you have a guy that you can who you can market in this city. And when anybody that comes through Hartsville International Airport, first thing they want is a Trae Young's jersey, and he can't find one because he's looking at Georgia Bulldog stuff.
You gotta market this team a lot better, and that's not the old cliche, beating the dead horse to death, man. We continue to say this, man, on this show. We've done this time and time again. It's talk about them and their merchandising. And so anybody listening, man, go hard at the Hawks. I go at them on Twitter. I go at them any chance I get to talk about the availability of the stuff. I was actually in one of the local sport goods store here in the city, and all of a sudden, as I go to check out, there's a little stand. You know how they had a little T-shirt stand that they have where they hang the T-shirts. I go to check out, fellas, and there's like 2 or 3 Hawk shirts hanging there right by the checkout aisle, which was funny as hell to me, man. But Jay, what's up?
I'll tell you this. So I play NBA 2K21. This is the dream for me. It's an opportunity for me to like live out my fantasy of being a basketball player. I'm like, in my off time, I'm like, I'm going to show love for the Hawks. So I try to go get a virtual John Collins jersey. There's no reason why they shouldn't exist, right? Can't even get it in my fantasy on a video game. So like I can't get a Trae Young jersey on that game either, by the way. The only Hawks jersey I could get was Dominique Wilkins, and I'm a little salty about that as well. I feel like, again, there's a ton of missed opportunities. We can't even get a fucking virtual jersey. I just want a virtual jersey. It's just there's so many missed opportunities.
Crazy, man. It's crazy, dude. I don't know. Like I said, Hawks, man, do better, man. Do better by your fans, man. Banks, we're gonna move on. Go ahead, man. We're gonna move on.
I was just about to say, man, I want to go ahead and email Steve Koonin about this, because this is really ridiculous. When you have a team on the verge of going to the Eastern Conference Finals, and even a casual fan who just started watching basketball can't even get a T-shirt. They can't even get a keychain.
Unless you spend $700 to go. Unless you spend $700 to actually go to the game to get one of the shirts that they lay out on the chair. We're gonna get to that in just a minute too. So look, Banks, I'm glad you just alluded to it, man. The Hawks are actually one game away from the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, I said that right, man. As we talk right now, tomorrow night, the Atlanta Hawks will go into game number 6 here in the ATL, up 3-2. On the Philadelphia 76ers, man. We're going to talk about that game 5 here in just a moment, man. But, guys, we one game away from the Eastern Conference Finals, man. Jay, like you said, Notre Dame, the prophet, whatever you want to call yourself, man, you were saying that the Hawks at the beginning of the season had a good chance of, I don't know if you actually said Eastern Conference Finals, but I know you said playoffs. So how do you feel right now, man? How does it look to you right now and their chances?
I did not call Eastern Conference Finals, so that part of it, I said second round of the playoffs. I honestly said they could make it. They could get a 5th seed and make it to the second round of the playoffs, depending upon who they had to go up against. So I pleasantly surprised by that. Here's the thing that I think is most surprising to me is that the Hawks have been very talented and beat some very good teams, but they also have had a little bit of luck. There's been so far they have not played a truly complete team. And I don't know if there is a truly complete team or a more complete team than them in the Eastern Conference for them to play. Every team in the Eastern Conference has a real fatal flaw, and they're kind of showing themselves in their fatal flaws. The Hawks themselves are included as well. So I don't know. I feel like this is just a really good year for them with the teams. They can beat just about anyone, I feel, with their current configuration and injuries. Need to make that little asterisk. Who's contending still in the playoffs on the Eastern side.
Banks, how do you feel right now about the Hawks and what they're doing, man? Because one game away, we're going to talk about that game that just happened last night. But how do you feel right now as their chances, man? How are you feeling?
Well, they playing with house money at this moment. Nate McMillan has been doing a good job with his team. I just, kind of, keep myself real in check, with this team. But the same token, you look at what you see on the court, man, they are doing things that, like, something magical about this team that I can't put my finger on it. Something that Jay said is about that this team is kind of lucky, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. They've been doing a lot of good stuff, man, that balls bounce their way, and they're in the situation that they're in now. Listen, Nate McMillan would have been a Hawks coach since the beginning of the season. What will this team be now? Will we be the 5th seed? We might be a top 3. If Nate McMillan came in earlier, that's how much of an impact he's had on his team. Going from Lloyd Pierce, as soon as Nate McMillan comes in, they win immediately. I mean, immediately.
Hey, man.
Like, it was no transition.
It was crazy, man. It was crazy to see him come in and them do what they did, man. The respect that they have for Nate, man, is awesome. And, shout out to him for turning this thing around. Hopefully, man, wherever we go with this, in these playoffs, that eventually this job will be his. And I think they're just waiting on whenever we actually complete this season to make him the full-time coach. Jay, what's up?
I was going to say, so it's his to turn down because solid chance he's going to get offers. There's a bunch of teams right now that are looking for coaches, but I think it's to your point, Nate McMillan's system just worked out far better for this team. But I do want to make sure that I don't throw Lloyd Pierce on the bus completely. A lot of what we're seeing and the skill set and the talent that we're seeing in the players did come from his development. So working with those players and development that he got them to the point, that they are at, I want to give him credit for that. But yeah, I feel like just the system and having a little bit more rigidity to actually know, like, all right, so I get the ball. If I'm not open, I pass here, and just knowing where your next step needs to be without having to like freestyle or think of it yourself or come up with it on your own has made a huge difference for them.
Banks, what's up? What you got, man?
I was just about to say that per Stephen A., he said that the contract was already on the table for Nate McMillan with this team. I think they're waiting till after the playoffs is done so they have no distractions. Then they can focus on, making that, official. But I also heard that other teams has been, poking and prying about acquiring Nate McMillan. The Trailblazers, I believe, are looking at him. That's the only strong one I heard. But I mean, at this point now, I mean, you would
Boston
leave
too.
Boston, yeah. So listen,
I think at this point, man, it's kind of safe to say, man, look, the Hawks have him right where they want him. I think that you do everything that you can. You throw the whole kitchen sink at him to make sure he stays here. And I think out of all the jobs, man, around the league right now, man, this is kind of the most. He knows this team. He's been with the organization for a minute. I mean, this is a young team. This is an appealing situation for him to be in, man. And I think that, I think he will be the next coach of the Atlanta Hawks here for a long period of time with the nucleus that we have right now, man. I think it fits, and I think that hopefully he'll be here. Banks, what's up?
What I'm about to say was that Nate McMillan don't even need an interview with the Hawks. His interview was the regular season. That was
Absolutely.
his interview. You know Absolutely. What I'm saying? He passed with flying colors. You know what I'm saying? You went 14-20 when you took over, and you went, was it 28-11?
Yeah.
Sold. You are the head coach.
And basically went like undefeated, like what, lost only like 4 or 5 games at home in that stretch. Like it was insane. It was crazy,
Something
man.
crazy, yeah, something crazy like that. Was it
Yeah,
Jay?
so
You said 3J? It was a 3? Yeah, that's crazy.
3
That's unreal. You know,
3
that's
games at home, man. It's crazy. So look, man. So we're gonna talk about Game 5. Something that just I'm still like in shock. And I know Banks is in just super shock. I'm gonna get to him in just a moment, man. Because we talk about this and we do this Atlanta sports thing all the time. And this game last night looked like it was just about, it was one of them things where like, man, let me find out what's going on. Let me turn on the movie. Let's see what's on Netflix. What can I fire up first, second, third quarter? Because it was like, yeah, man, yeah. So let's get into this, man. So I think at one point, if I'm not mistaken, and you guys could correct me if I'm wrong, that the Philadelphia 76ers were up as high as 26 points on the Hawks in Game 5, right? First quarter was crazy. Joel Embiid just lighting them up out there. He was killing them, man. I think he didn't miss a shot in the first quarter. Come out, man, second quarter, and they doing their thing, man. And halftime, man, it was like anybody, I don't care if you are a diehard Hawks fan. It was for me, I almost was like, you know what, man, I'm gonna just close it up, man. I'll see the highlights later, man, because it was a real hard watch. But something told me to hang in there, and I did. I ain't had nothing else to do, so I hung in there and I watched it. So I watched this epic comeback. Usually, and we all know, being Atlanta fans, man, we're always on the wrong side of history. But man, we were not on the wrong side of history last night. I watched Philadelphia fans get just you could see first quarter. And then when we got to the fourth quarter, when we cut the lead into single digits, you guys saw the game, man. You should have saw the reactions in the faces of those Philly fans, man, how it went down. It was crazy. I mean, 11 minutes, and going into the fourth quarter, it was 87-69 Philly. All the way live. And we ended up winning the game 109-106. 109-106. It was crazy. Jay, I'm going to start with you first, man. We've been watching NBA basketball for a long time, man. Have you ever seen a playoff game like that and watched the Atlanta Hawks actually walk them down in Philly?
Oh, on the road, that part of it was what made it wild. Nah, man, I think we saw some history. Like if you turned away, you straight up and down miss a legit historical comeback. My personal favorite part about all of that is the next morning. I saw like someone posted like a YouTube clip of just a news person talking to Philly fans, and they're all just like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know how we lost. It's 26-point lead going into like I think and that was like deep in the third quarter, almost like 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Philly was up by 26 points. Like that's an insane swing. It's wild that happened, and it was amazing to watch. Amazing.
As a Hawks fan, man, it was amazing. And so I'm gonna kick this over to Banks. And Banks, don't take this the wrong way, because you and I know we boys, we talk about this, man. Banks, this was one of those games where you literally, and you told me this, that you literally like, you know what, I cut this off. For you to get up this morning, for whenever you found out that the Hawks actually pulled this off, how did that actually make you feel? And I want you to walk through the people of how your evening went, because I think you had to go to work. But when you saw the actual score initially and how the Hawks was getting kind of mollywopped here going into the third quarter, I want you to tell me how you were feeling. And then I want you to fast forward to how you felt once you found out the outcome of the game.
Let me tell everybody out there, I work at night. I work third shift. I was watching the game via NBA.com. Gamecast. So I didn't really watch it because we don't have cable in our break room. So I was watching it on my phone, and we getting skull drugged. I mean, we getting destroyed. I was like, well, I guess it's just one of those games, I guess, we're at Wells Fargo Arena. Philadelphia's feeling it. It's their night. You know what I'm saying? What can I say? So mind you, now I'm at work, so I have to go outside and do some work. I actually turned off my phone. I said, I don't want to see any, any updates, whatever. I have worked with Philadelphia fans, but I don't work directly with them. So I didn't really see them at first, but I didn't want to have nothing to do with them because I knew they were going to rub it in. So I went ahead and did what I had to do. And I forgot all about it, Leo. I really forgot about the game. I was already worrying about Game 6 and about how we need to probably need to pull all the stops out, wear our MLK jerseys, and let's hope for a Game 7. So I go back to the break room, and something just told me, Banks, pull out your phone and check the score, see how bad it was. No lie, I pulled out my phone and I checked Gamecast, and the game was tied. I'm sorry, it was like 104-102. And I sat there in stunned silence because I was like, what the hell just happened? What just happened? So I'm watching it, and then Hawks went up 105-104. I'm like, well, wait a minute. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how we got to this point. Then they end up winning the game, and I'm like, I got to find the nearest TV upstairs. I got to do something. I got to find out what happened. And luckily, someone's very, very fast on social media. They put it all on YouTube, and I saw all the highlights. And unbelievable, Lou Williams. Oh my God! And two 76ers, two only score in the second half, and Joel Embiid and Curry. Are you kidding me?
MIA, man. MIA. They were on a milk carton for real. So really quickly, and I'm gonna get I'm gonna get to Jay to talk about the nuts and bolts of this game, man, and how the Hawks were able to accomplish this, man. So look, Joel Embiid, like I said, he came out hot. For whatever it's worth, Banks is not buying this brand about Joel Embiid having a partially torn meniscus, whatever the case may be. They want to say he's not buying it. I mean, for what it's worth, it is what it is. Joel Embiid is the heart of this team, man. 7'2", 275 pounds, whatever he is, man, he can do it all, man. And you really can't stop him. We always say you got players like him in the league that, they're going to get his. So now you got to rely on the supporting cast, and you got to rely on good coaching, right? We all know Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers, from Clippers. Now he with the 76ers, man. I don't know what the hell he was thinking about in this fourth quarter. The Hawks bench kind of made a run, and he said, like, okay, I see it. I don't think it's going to happen. They pull within, 10 or 11. Then all of a sudden they start to pull within a single digit. Then he puts his starters back in. One of the biggest things and one of the funniest things I think that kind of kept the Hawks in the game, Jay, I want to get you to talk about it a little bit, was Ben Simmons, man, and his horrible free throw shooting. My God, man, if Ben Simmons, I want to say he missed like 10 free throws in this game.
Yeah,
had he made those free throws, obviously, man, the score could have been a lot worse going into the fourth quarter. Banks, I'll get to you in just a second. Jay, walk me through how the Hawks were able to literally walk this game down, man. Was this Doc Rivers piss poor coaching? Did the 76ers simply run out of gas? Because we saw, like you said, the shooting was horrific in the fourth quarter, and Joel Embiid looked like he was ready to just leave. Like he didn't want, any more parts of it. How was the Hawks able to accomplish this, man?
You know what? I like piss poor coaching. That made me giggle. So it's a little bit of everything, right? So first of all, Doc Rivers is a great coach. I'm not here to take anything away from him, but he has shown that he believes he is willing to err on the side of his players. So as a coach, when things are bad, he's like, I'm going to let my players play. I believe in them. And, as a player, you want that. You want a coach who's going to believe in you. But the problem is that Doc Rivers doesn't have anybody really to believe in. You're right about Joel Embiid. Baddest motherfucker on the planet. Literally should have been the MVP. Just 3-level scorer, unstoppable on all levels. The only real thing that you can do to him is make him put the ball on the floor, and maybe you can trap him. That's pretty much it. But the problem is that after you have dealt with Embiid, who's left? You have Ben Simmons, who's a 6'10" point guard, who, if we're being honest, if he just had a plausible shot, would not have to expend so much energy to score. But because he doesn't, all of his scoring has to be drives, which means you just pack the paint and just wait for him to wear out. Because on the other end, he's chasing a dude who's half his size and trying to keep up with all these other people. So all his energy is getting burned because he can't shoot. He has to work so hard to get points. Next person up, Tobias Harris. Great guy, but my problem with Tobias Harris is he just disappears. Tobias Harris has never played a full 48 minutes as a beast.
J. Cole?
Correct. And you know what? Same deal. Some albums from J. Cole amazing. Others you're like, you know what? I could have slept through this entire album. And that's what you have for Tobias Harris. And the biggest problem with Tobias Harris, I think, was a couple things. He's also undersized. So when he has to go up against dudes who are power forwards, like legit power forwards or bigger people, he doesn't, he expends a lot of energy on the defensive end doing that, so that then he now on the offensive end starts pulling up a lot of just jump shots that if he is working, he can hit. But when he's not hitting jump shots, he just doesn't have the energy or the talent to really bulldoze his way in like Embiid can. So that leaves you with Seth Curry, who is a great shooter. We saw all of that. But, I mean, great shooting from one person isn't going to get it done for you. And then if you look at the bench, you have Shake Milton. You have Dwight Howard. You have Korkmaz, who's now starting because Danny Green's not there anymore. So, like, all the shooting that you went and got, all the preseason, you went and got 2 straight up and down 3-and-D shooters, and one of them was there for you, but the other one's out. So, like, who does Doc Rivers turn to? And another thing to remember is that all of those players were gassed, right? If you watch the fourth quarter, and there's a YouTube highlight sizzle reel of Joel Embiid just giving up on plays, not going over. I don't know what his knee situation is.
Sweating profusely at the free throw line.
I don't know what his knee situation is, but he wasn't engaged on defense in the fourth quarter, and it showed. And all of the Sixers were just kind of half-assing it, and they couldn't score because, I mean, it's not like that's in their wheelhouse to begin with. So if you're not going to play that lockdown, intense defense that you were playing for, 35 minutes, and you're not going to score, what are you going to do but lose the game?
Get walked down. Banks, what were you going to say? Were you going to elaborate on something?
I was going to talk about Ben Simmons. He said about 10 missed free throws. He have, for the playoffs, more missed free throws than the entire Atlanta Hawks team. And I just think that when you're in a starter point guard or whoever you are, or who wants to be a superstar, whoever you claim to be, you can't do that, brother. I'm sorry, bro. You ain't it. I'm sorry. I just
trash.
He doesn't shoot well for a forward. He doesn't shoot well for a center. He's a guard and he shoots like that.
And how can you demand to be an all-star? And this is what you do. Like, you
trash.
I mean, come on, dude. Like, I'm looking at him side-eyed. I'm like, I'm asking Philly fans, is this your king? For real? Oh, okay.
All right, fellas, let's kind of move along here, man. So, look, man, Game 5 was epic, man. Moving into Game 6, man, the Hawks obviously they had the momentum going into Game 6 coming back here in Atlanta. As we record, is actually going today. It's going to actually be tonight as we record this show. I don't know when we're going to drop it, but Game 6 is what we're looking at now. Really quickly, guys, and I want to move on. Banks, I'm going to go over to you first. Is this the closeout tonight here in Atlanta? We closing it out for Game 6.
We have to close out, Leo. It's going to be epic in that arena. It's going to be live. It's going to be lit. Whatever noun, adjective, verb, whatever you want in that arena is going to happen, dude. This is a closeout game for the Eastern Conference Finals on our own court. We cannot afford to go back to Philadelphia. Listen, do what you have to do. These guys are putting back on the MLK jerseys. I don't know if people believe in that kind of stuff, but they play like a different team when they wear it. Sorry, Leo, that you never got yours. So I mean, just saying.
I don't know. Maybe the fact that I don't have the MLK jersey is the reason they're winning in the MLK jersey. I don't know. Jay, what do you think, man? Game 6, do we close this out for Game 6?
You know what? I think the Hawks have what it takes to be able to close it out. And part of it, I know we're in Banks. I know you're saying that you don't believe in Embiid's meniscus tear. I think it is wearing at him. I think what we're seeing is like while he is able to score at such a high rate and he's so skilled that he can kind of hide his ability on the offense, or his, I guess not disability, but his injury on the offensive end but it is showing up on the defensive end. And I don't know if this team is going to find someone who's going to, like, the only way they win this, and I'll be honest, the only way they truly win this is if Ben Simmons like drops a triple double in another one of those like y'all don't believe in me games. And truly, for him to do that, they don't win game 7 because he would have to leave everything on the court to do that. That is him doing almost 48 minutes of legit two-way playing, and I don't think he has what it takes without a shot.
And yeah, I'm gonna say you don't even believe that yourself that Ben Simmons is gonna come up with this kind of game.
Done
Banks,
it.
what's up?
No, he's done it before.
Man, I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Listen, if you think that Ben Simmons is gonna have a come to Jesus moment, wait on that, brother. Wait on that. We have a better chance for Curry going off for damn 70 points. Listen, I looked at Ben Simmons' body language last night, dude. When he missed that dunk on that highlight that I watched, he checked out, dude. The dude was so out of it after that point. He couldn't even look. He just wanted to go somewhere and die. I mean, at that point, because he made 2 free throws back to back. The fans were going crazy. Oh my gosh, he made 2. The very next free throw attempt, you know what he did? He missed 2 of them. So it balanced it out. Ben Simmons, dude, go sit down somewhere, brother. You ain't it. You ain't it. And let's not forget about Embiid with his 2 crucial misses at the very end of the game, that he could have actually brought the team within 1, and then he missed both of them and kept the game in 3 points. So Embiid, tired or not, dude, you got to carry that team, brother. You on the court.
Actually, like you said, man, I think fatigue played a major factor. Like I said, whether or not he has the partial meniscus tear, I mean, you can't do any conditioning. You can't do a lot when you do have an injury like that, man. So going to 7-game series, man, playing on that knee like Jay, you just said, man, it's starting to wear him down, man. Going into this game, man, I'd be very, very surprised how effective he's going to be and what the plan is going to be, because he has to command a lot of minutes and he's going to have to be out on the floor. And if I'm the Hawks, man.
Can I say something right quick? I had a meniscus tear before. I know we're not the same. He's an athlete. I'm not. Having a meniscus tear, dude, it is your knee doesn't pivot right, dude. When you move a certain way, it's going to bring you down. It's going to hurt you. Same case in point with DeAndre Hunter, who has the same injury and who's out for the playoffs. Listen, Joel Embiid, if he has a partial or not, like you just about to say, if you're on the court, you got to be able to take that team and carry them. I don't think he wants to carry them. I mean, I see something in him when he had opportunity to take the last shot in the last minute of the game. He passed the ball to somebody else. How do you do that? If you are the man, you got 40 points, and you passing the ball off to Curry? Yeah. I don't know. That sounds like a leader, brother. Really quickly,
gentlemen, as we move on here, man, we're gonna get to kind of wrap this up. Jay, have the Hawks finally put the league on notice? Like, is this the coming out party of this young Atlanta Hawks team, man? I mean, we talked about Trae Young, and I don't want to go back into talking about the whole Luka Doncic. We just talked about the whole comparison. but Trae Young has ultimately, man, put this team in a great position, man. He has done some phenomenal things. Like, you talk about players and them getting theirs and not being able to stop them, man. Trae is so multifaceted to where, assists and drives and floaters and just, man, he has done a lot. Is this it now? Have the Hawks finally put this damn league on notice?
Well, I feel like, and this is something that, a very similar question that my wife asked me when I was watching the games. Like, oh, does this mean now that like people have to like take the Hawks seriously? And I think the league was taking the Hawks seriously when they, a season ago, got Clint Capella and then went for Danilo Gallinari and Bogdan Bogdanovic. I think the play that they made for those 3 players and, adding them in, I think that in and of itself was the move that should have made some people kind of stand up and like, okay. And then they went 27-11. I think at that point, you're kind of paying attention. As far as just the casual fan who, enjoys the NBA and basketball, but, isn't a fan of specific teams, I think now because they're getting so much exposure and they're legitimately beating, teams that have a little bit more history than they do. And because they're beating these teams that are maybe even larger markets, arguably, than the Hawks. I think in that case, well, in New York's case, of course, but in Philly, whatever, it's a toss up. But I feel like in that case, then, yeah, whatever. But I feel like in that case, 100%. This is an opportunity. This is people saying like, no, we got to pay attention to the Hawks. And I've seen this happen. Like, this isn't uncommon for young teams. Teams often, rebuild. The example I'll give in this case is Boston. This happened to them about 4 years ago, where they had a really young team, and then all of a sudden they boom, just everybody just exploded, and the talent that they had been drafting and working with finally came to fruition, and that's just what we're seeing. I would be curious to see. I like the way that they're set up, especially if they can get Collins to come back. I would hope that after this, if they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, that he would come back, just because it's like, yo, I feel like I have a chance at a championship here. But I honestly think that they have a team that is young, that is extremely talented, and that I at one point thought they were overperforming. I now think that they're performing exactly to expectation and to what they are. Each player is hitting their exact expectation of what they should be.
Stride.
Yeah.
Hey, man, that's what's up, man. I feel like, hey, man, it's finally on notice. And Banks, I'm going to get to you in just a second. But yeah, I agree with you, Jay. I think they're hitting the stride. I'm excited. I'm cautiously optimistic. I want to see them get to this Eastern Conference Finals. Banks, I know you had a little bit to add on, man, and I'm going to move on here, man, because we're going to kind of close out the show, man. So Banks, do you feel like the league is finally on notice and the Hawks are finally not hitting their stride?
I think they are slowly. I think it's coming along. After that game 5 against the Sixers, the main headline was the collapse of the Sixers, not what the Hawks did. It's what the Sixers didn't do. So unfortunately, you got, Perkins tweeting, about that same issue. Like, if that would have been Luka that did it, you would already been putting a crown on him and making a statue for him. But now that it's Trey, it's about Sixers not doing what he's supposed to do. So, I mean, it's coming along slowly. I think the league see it. They don't want to be the one to say, you guys are right. Trae Young is this, or the Hawks are improving. After that Knicks series, everyone was like, yeah, no, Knicks maybe not been that good. Maybe they shouldn't have been there. It was never the Hawks was just flat out better than them. And we beat the brakes off of them. It should have been a sweep. We come into the Sixers where we should not have won a game, by the way, because they said we was going to be swept by the Sixers. And here we are, game 6, and we're up 3-2. So I think the league is going to eventually come around. They just don't want to change that narrative. That narrative has always been, it's just the Hawks. You guys can, you guys they're not relevant. But the fact that we keep moving on, we keep doing things, we keep doing stuff that they can't, foresee for us to ever do. Yeah. Eventually, Leo, they're going to have to talk about us and give us our props. Eventually.
Absolutely. I totally agree, man. It's going to be unavoidable in just a moment here, especially if they keep doing some special things. So, fellas, right now, man, I want to move forward into the show because we're going to kind of wrap this up a little bit and talk about the remaining teams that are left in the playoffs right now and the actual Hawks' chances against everybody that's left moving forward into the Eastern Conference Finals if we make it, and then actually looking past the East as fans. And I know we don't like to talk about, we're going to take this one game at a time, one series at a time, but as fans, I want to talk about, some broad topics. I want to talk about, hypothetically getting out of the Eastern Conference and moving into the NBA Finals. So really quickly, starting first with going into the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't want to put in too much on our Hawks right now, but it looks like that we could seriously make a good run into the Eastern Conference Finals and face one of the two teams that are remaining over there. Just found out tonight that they're going into Game 7 with the Milwaukee Bucks and the Brooklyn Nets. I'm going to start you off here first, Banks. Really, really quickly, I want you to give me your thoughts on both of those teams. And if our Hawks actually make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, who do you think they end up playing?
It's kind of hard to say, man. I don't think you remember in Game 5, Brooklyn just went completely batshit with KD, and he just had an out of body experience. Channeling his inner Jordan, I guess. He had a phenomenal game. In this particular game, I was watching it before we went on air. He was pedestrian at best. So I don't know if you chalk that up with the fact that they were playing in Milwaukee. So Game 7 in Brooklyn, flip a coin, dude. I have no idea. Kyrie's not there. Half of me wants to say go ahead and go with Brooklyn because they are injuries, but at the same time, they can always come back healthy in the middle of the series. And the other half wants to say the Bucks because it's just Greek freak, that you got to worry about. But they both good teams, Leo. As a Hawks fan, I would probably just say maybe go with the Bucks because you avoid KD. I don't know, dude. I really can't tell you because they both are good players. I mean, I hopefully
I got you.
We could just weather the storm with both of them.
Really quickly before I get to you, Jay, man, I'm gonna go ahead and give my prediction, man. I think that we're actually gonna see the Brooklyn Nets here in the Eastern Conference Finals if we get past the 76ers. And the reason I say that is because I think that Brooklyn was maybe sandbagging a little bit tonight. I don't know if the game kind of got out of hand. I have to go back and watch it tomorrow on NBA TV and see actually what happened. But like you said, Banks, that KD kind of looked pedestrian, and maybe he said, you know what, let me sandbag this, let me get out of this and go back to Brooklyn for Game 7. We know that KD can turn the switch on and off when he wants to, man. We saw him just go, like you said, ape shit in Game 5. And, we actually saw them skull drag the Bucks in Game 1, man. I think they beat them by like 30 or 40 points or something crazy like that, man. So I do think we'll end up seeing Brooklyn. As far as the injuries are concerned with Brooklyn, don't know how effective Harden is going to be. Don't know if Kyrie is going to come back. If the Hawks end up making it into that series, man, I think they got a chance, man. You got a wounded Nets team going into the Eastern Conference Finals. We know what KD is capable of doing, man, but I think you have a legit chance. So, Jay, I'm going to kick it over to you really quickly. You tell me your thoughts on the East, then we're going to go to the West, and we're going to wrap this up.
Man, y'all got me sounding like a homer. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I feel like we match up good against both these teams. I'm going to tell you why. We match up good against the Nets because the Nets, their starting center is fucking Blake Griffin. Every rebound is ours. I feel like you can put Tony Snell on KD, and that he's gonna, like, PJ Tucker is out here giving him issues. I feel like Tony Snell is gonna give him problems. I feel like even if Irving comes back, Bogdanovich can handle him. Again, you don't need to stop them. No one has to stop him. You just got to slow him down. I feel like you're going to have Harden chasing Trae Young all over the court, or Kyrie Irving chasing him all over the court, which is just wearing someone out. I feel like then they don't have a true answer to John Collins. I guess Jeff Green is just going to have to try to match up with him, which, I mean, good luck. Jeff Green is 37? As a 39-year-old, I don't want to smoke with a 24-year-old who can jump out the gym. And then you talk about just the bench of the Hawks and the fact that they have one. Who's on the Nets bench? Quick, give me a Brooklyn Nets bench player. Call one out right now. Name
DeAndre Jordan, is he still there?
Go ahead.
I see his face, but I don't know his name.
I said DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan ain't there no more.
I think nominally.
Who was the guy who was the guy with the dreads? Who was that?
I don't even remember, but I know.
Can't even think.
But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, across the board, the Hawks, I feel, match up really well with Brooklyn. And then if we talk about the Bucks, I trust in Clint Capella enough to where he, again, don't have to stop. You don't have to stop Antetokounmpo. You don't have to stop him. You just have to slow him down. Once you get past Antetokounmpo and you get past Chris Middleton, which, again, I think Chris Middleton is going to have a little bit of his hands full because either he is going to draw the Trae Young assignment or he's going to draw the Bogdanovich assignment. And both of those are a hot assignment on the defensive end for him. So he's got his hands full defensively. And then once you get past those two, it's Will Barton, not Will Barton, dude's name. I can't remember the dude's name, but I don't have a lot of respect for those players. And their bench is also not as deep. What I was saying at the top of the podcast is quite frankly, the Eastern Conference is full of really flawed teams in the playoffs right now. The Hawks' biggest flaw is quite, we're not great defensively, but we're good enough. And I think we have a legit, not even a puncher's chance. I think we have a legitimate shot. Brooklyn is going to have a problem with, you have to hit every shot basically. And you have to hope that even if we miss, if we're getting 3, second chance, third chance, fourth chance to keep shooting, this is a team that if you're letting us shoot, if we catch fire, we've seen what can happen. And if there's ever been a team that could just hold with Brooklyn, it's us. I believe in the Hawks.
All right. So Jay and Banks, I know Banks, you wanted to jump back in this, man. I want to go to the West Coast really, really quickly, guys. We'll give you a couple of minutes, and then we're going to kind of close this out, and we'll definitely come back, man, because hopefully we'll have some more to talk about here in the upcoming podcast about our Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals against one of those teams over there between the Bucks and the Nets. Out to the West, we already know Phoenix Suns are on to the Western Conference Finals, and right now I think we got the LA Clippers and the Utah Jazz, if I'm not mistaken, going into a 7th game out there. So, really quickly, Banks, looking at the West, looking at our Hawks, let's kind of play this, Banks. I know you don't like to play this, but let's look at the Hawks and let's say, hey, look, man, we actually about to roll into the finals. What team out in the West do you think is going to actually make it through? And how do you feel about the Hawks and the chances of your prediction of who's going to come out of the West? I'm going to give you a couple of minutes, then we're going to pass it to Jay, and we're going to get out of here.
I don't need a couple of minutes. I think the Suns going to do it. And even if it was Utah or even the Clippers, I mean, listen, there's nobody on that team have a LeBron James on their team, okay? So I'm looking at the West as wide open. You get to the finals, I think you have a better chance than anybody else that's left in this playoffs. That's including the 76ers, that's including the Bucks, that's including the Nets. Hawks, you have a chance as well.
All right, Jay,
playoffs I'm not done. The Hawks are pretty much in a situation where it is lining up for them to have a special season. Okay. I wanted to speak on something about the East. That's something that Jay said, but go ahead, Leo. I'm gonna let you go ahead and finish it.
All right, man. My bad. Damn, my bad. We got to wrap it up, man. We'll bring it back. I promise you, Banks, we'll bring it back and have another conversation about this fully, man. So, Jay, I'm going to kick it over to you really quickly, man. Your thoughts on the West and what the Hawks could do if they actually make it to the NBA Finals.
I think the Suns come out of the West. They're just too stacked of a team. Like, they're really, really good. If not the Suns, Utah, because for the same reason, I think it's just Donovan Mitchell's injury concerns me more than anything else. And then... So if it's the Suns, I don't have a lot of hope for the Hawks if they get past, whoever's comes out of the East. If the Hawks are the ones that come out of the East, the Suns are just complete. I mean, just across the board, every position is just strong, and their bench is as strong, if not stronger than ours. So that's the thing that would bother me the most. And then, the biggest issue with the Hawks that I guess teams playing the Hawks have ran into so far has been trying to contain Trae Young. I feel like Chris Paul is good enough defensively still to where he's going to give Trae Young problems. And on the flip side of that,
he's like 46 though. He's like 46, I mean.
I'm telling you, he has always been stout.
He's still doing a State Farm commercial.
He has always been stout defensively. And then on the flip side of that is who's fucking with Devin Booker for real? Like, who's covering Devin Booker for real?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Booker, Paul, Ayton. I mean, they got a strong squad out there in Phoenix, man. I think
Ayton has been quietly with you guys, every center he's played. He has been destroying every center he's played. I'm in agreement with you guys, man. Phoenix is a tough team, man. But like you said, Jay, man, and like you said as well, Banks, is that you got a chance. You really do, man. I mean, Phoenix is a good team, man. But if you get out of the Eastern Conference Finals, man, who knows? You get in there and play Phoenix. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say the last game that the Hawks actually played Phoenix, they beat them by quite a bit. Of course, it wasn't a 7-game series, but I think the Hawks won. I want to say they beat them by like 20, if I'm not mistaken.
It was like 28 points.
Yeah, well, I mean, and of course, like I said, it wasn't a 7-game series. When you 7-game series is totally different from a regular season game. So. I don't know, man. I look forward to seeing what the Hawks are going to do. Hopefully, they'll close this out Game 6. And man, I'm excited. So look, guys, man, we come to the end of this, man. We straight full on NBA podcast, man. I loved it. I'm hoping we get to do this a little bit more. Before we actually drop the podcast, Jay and I were having a conversation about some other stuff, and hopefully we'll be able to record another one and get back into and dive into that conversation as well, man. Because that might just have to be a full-fledged podcast on fandom again. We'll have to go down that fandom street again. So look, man, as always, man, I appreciate you guys coming on to the show with me, man. Banks, I'm gonna kick it over to you, man. Let everybody know where they can find you at, man, and how they can get at you, bro.
You can find me at BabyBanks80 on Twitter and on the gram, or you can find me at Antoine Jarrell Banks on Facebook.
Hey man, you still hiring a social media person, man? I might be in the rent. I might try to apply myself. I need a little extra coins.
Yeah, I am.
You still hiring a social media person? Okay. All right, we'll talk about that a little bit later, man. So look, man, Jay, what's up, man? You've been gone for a long time, man. So definitely, man, let the people know what you got going on, man. Let the people know where you been first and foremost, man, and then let the people what they got going on and how they can get at you.
I've been around. No, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at adjective_J. I'm a stand-up comedian. I have started back doing shows, so that's where a little bit of where I've been. I don't have any shows scheduled now, so this is awkward. But when I do have new shows, if you go to jjonescomedy.com, that is where I will post all of my new shows. Also, I am in the works trying to produce an actual monthly showcase here in Seattle called The Blackout, featuring all Black comedians and Black artists from around the PNW. So if you're in the Seattle area and that sounds like something you'd be into, definitely follow me on Twitter and on Instagram, because I will have more about that once I have that solidified. I'm like at 90% on it right now. So I'm trying to get that started.
I gotta be in the Seattle area. I gotta be in the Seattle area, huh? I can't.
So, quietly kept. Here's the deal, though. All right, fine. let me just put all the cards on the table. What I'm working towards is getting to the point where I actually am releasing audio of that show to basically as a podcast to like Spotify. The reason I'm not talking about it right now is because I'm still trying to work out like pay structures and systems.
Okay.
So like,
okay. Well, you ain't got to give it too. You ain't got to give it too much, man. We'll let you come back to it, man. I'm just joking, man. I'm just messing with you, dude. So, man, look, if you want to catch up with the Leo G Show, man, as always, if you're listening, if you want to communicate with me, if you don't like the show, as always, man, you can kick this all over to either Banks or Adjective J. Like I said, you can fight them on Twitter about it, man, and not me, man, because if the show sucked, it was their fault. But so look, man, you could always get at the show, the Leo G Show, the #1 on Twitter. That's at the Leo G Show, the #1 on Twitter. Also, you can catch me on Facebook. If you're still on, I don't know anybody that's still on Facebook, but if you are on Facebook, you can follow us, the Leo G Show over there, man. You can follow us for updates.
I resent that.
My bad. Okay. Well, Banks is still on Facebook, man. My bad. Okay. So yeah, catch Banks over there, man. And we got the show page. We got the show page, man, the Leo G Show over there on Facebook as well. And we got the YouTube channel, man. So look, I need you, if you're a fan of the show, if you like the show, man, I need you all to do me a big favor. If you're watching this show, drop some comments on YouTube and subscribe to the show, man. For real, subscribe to the show, drop some comments, man. Let us know if you want to be a guest on the show or what you want to hear us talk about, man. It's a lot of content out there. We understand that, man. But if you're watching us, man, if you're listening to us, we definitely appreciate you guys doing it, man, because we do it for you all, man. We're fans, and we just want to bring things from a fan perspective, man. You got a lot of cats out there like Stephen A, man. I don't know what they be talking about, man, but they ain't fan. We going hard for these teams in the A, man, because that's what we do. We're fans, and we like to talk about our teams here, man. So this has been another edition of the Leo G Show. We hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll be back to bring you another one here, man. All right.